All right, Mr. Adamu, you are live. Can you come online now? Oh, great. Oh, great. Hello, good evening, everyone. I welcome you once again to today's section on Scholarship Insight in 60 minutes. I have here with me Mr. Adamu Mohammed, Adamu Abubakar, sorry, Adamu Abubakar, joining me from here in University of Alabama, USA. I'll quickly introduce myself and I'll give him the opportunity to also introduce himself. As a culture, all my guests get to introduce themselves by themselves. So that way they can say a lot of stuff they want to, to talk about themselves and their experience and all that before we dive in. So once again, I welcome everyone joining us from any part of the country, Nigeria, Africa, India, Asia, wherever you're joining us from this evening. I welcome you all. My name is Sunday Okafor. I'm a current PhD student at the University of Alabama, and my major is in civil engineering. And I was a Commonwealth Scholar 2018 class 2019. And this session is where I invite scholars to come and share insights and their experience on various scholarship opportunities across the globe and strategies they have used to win scholarship in the past and currently. So it's my pleasure to have with me here Mr. Adamu Abubakar. Adamu, you're welcome. Let's meet you.
Okay. My name is Abubakar Danjuma, and it is my singular honor and privilege to be here today as a guest. And I'm grateful to Sunday for the opportunity to share my little insightful information and knowledge to other distinguished and forthcoming scholars. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Quickly, can you tell us about your major, what program you are doing at the University of Alabama, so people can get to know you more?
Okay, my major is modern languages and classics, but my area of concentration is French literature. So I'm here for my PhD in French literature. This is my first year.
All right, thank you very much for that. Quickly, let us dive into it. I invite you here today because I've known a little about you and your background in terms of how you got to win the full funding for your PhD program. And I understand that you applied with your bachelor's, fresh from university, undergrad, and all that. So that is quite a unique experience of which I've gotten a lot of, people asking me most time that, oh, how can I get PhD offer with a bachelor's? I don't have to do my master's first and all that. And I get to tell them that it's very possible, like a lot of people get into PhD with their master's, right? With their bachelor's. So I want you to, kind of tell us about your experience, like your background, how do you go about it? At what point, firstly, I want you to, elaborate, at what point did you decide that you are going to apply for this program?
Okay. Thank you so much for your question. I don't know if you can allow me to share my screen.
Definitely.
Prepare the PowerPoint for me to be able to go through the conversation effectively. So thank you so much.
Okay, let me allow that.
Okay.
Okay. You can do that now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So this is just, I hope every person can see my screen.
If you can see the screen, kindly say yes on the chat box. Thank you. Oh, great. Yeah, go on.
Okay. So at what point have I decided to go about applying for admission opportunities here and there? I can say I started applying for admission or having the mindset to apply for admission right from my undergraduate days before completing Bachelor of Art in French at the University of Ilorin. I've already gotten an admission to study for my MA in French literature in an American university, but I could not take that admission seriously because I was like, let me just finish my undergraduate and things like that. So basically, I put in more effort during my service year as a core member at the Federal Polytechnic at Ekiti, where I felt it is time for me to apply and secure admission because my aim after graduation is to further my studies and go to the graduate school. So the journey started there, COVID-19 started, so I I thought it is over because people are, were asked to stay at home and activities have been put on hold. So uh, I got admitted into a university in the UK known as the University of Strathclyde. I'm sorry, University of Anglia and Ruskin University in the UK. I used my Bachelor of Art degree to apply for an MA in international relations. So unfortunately, I was not offered a full funded scholarship. I was asked to pay like £14,000, which is quite exorbitant, so I just have to let it go. Then I was faced with some challenges like application fee because most UK universities allow you to apply for admission. You can get admitted, but the thing is, you need to source for funding. You need to apply for how you can be able to fund your studies. So I was not having money. I was looking for a fully funded, opportunity. So then the application fee, when I started applying for US universities, my first university was University of California, Berkeley. Unfortunately, having completed all the stages for me to submit my application for it to be considered for admission was very difficult for me because I could not afford $120 to get my application submitted. After interacting with the faculty and they were very much willing to receive me and they have an August opportunity for me, but I cannot have access to it without having my application submitted. So I have to let it go. I also started applying to the University of British Columbia, UBC in Canada. I informed my lecturers in my previous universities to help me submit letter of recommendations, but along the line, I could not submit the application because I was not having US dollars, so it was challenging for me. I put in more work because the kind of admission process they had for me was somehow tough. So all the efforts were put beside. I started applying around, I think, December 2020 to a university in France for my Master of Arts in Comparative Literature. The university is located in the city known as Lyon. The name of the university is known as École Normale Supérieure de Lyon. The story started from a friend. A friend sent me an application link for me to apply. So I also motivated him to also apply to that same school. So we started together, we submitted our application together. Unfortunately, a few days later, we were told we were not shortlisted because they had limited opportunities and our age, they were looking forward to admitting people below the age of,
Can you stop the screen share? Sorry for interrupting you. Can you stop the screen share until you
Okay.
need to use it so we
Okay.
can have a full facial
Okay.
glance?
Okay. No problem. I think I can talk without the screenshots. I mean, the
Okay.
screen stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I stopped it already.
Yes,
So
that's perfect.
so let me just
You can always look at your screen if you need to
yeah.
read your PowerPoint and explain them.
I think it's fine. So the university in France did not admit us, and my friend was like, okay, what do we do now? I said, okay, let's think about USA because I think we should be able to get admitted with our previous educational background. So we put in for the University of Alabama. And after some days, we got notification that we offered admission. So the admission came in with funding opportunities for us to study and work as a graduate assistant in our department. But believe me, when we applied, people got this fee waived. But unfortunately, I that even advertised that fee waiving for people could not use it because I submitted my application on the deadline. So the only thing I have to do was to either reapply next year or pay the $80. So I did.
Yeah.
Even as at then, before I could be able to get that $80, I have to. But I thank God I did submit my application and I got in. Then while applying for my I-20 and getting my visa, I could not really.
Before we dive into the other aspect,
Okay.
I appreciate your experience in terms of at what point did you started applying for
Okay.
graduate school, which you have already elaborated very well on that. Why you were even still yet to graduate, you got your first offer, but you couldn't proceed with it because of some issues, right? Like some constraints. But I think that's a very good one, like for prospective applicants looking out for opportunities in the US or any other part of the country of the West, maybe the UK, France, or wherever they are looking out for opportunity. It's usually good to start early, like to have that idea that you want to pursue a graduate study while you are still an undergrad. You start to prepare towards it, and that can expose you to different available opportunities while you are still in school. So once you are out of school, you get to start working on that, and already you know what you need, the documents you need to get ready in order to stand a better chance of getting those offers. So thank you for that. And also I want you to elaborate on, here you are now in the US, even though you apply to other part of the world, Canada, UBC and all that, UK, France, but finally you are here in the US. So I want you to kind of give an overview of how did you come about applying to University of Alabama. Was it because of the waiver that made you to apply to University of Alabama, or you heard about University of Alabama from someone, or probably you were searching and you found out that they have funding for your program and you apply? What prompted you to go for university?
Well, thanks a bunch for your question. I came about knowing the University of Alabama through online resources. I use things like LinkedIn and Twitter to source for tangible information regarding scholarship and admission. So I was applying for the University of Stanford in the USA because I could not apply. I couldn't submit my application. I have to look for other means of reapplying. So I knew about the University of Alabama before they started sharing or waiving their fees. I just took my time to study the faculty for my program, Department of Modern Languages and Classics, to see if I am eligible to be admitted for a PhD with an undergraduate degree. So I interacted with the graduate coordinator of my program in the department, and I was told, yeah, it's fine. I read all the information and I put my application documents together. That's how I was shortlisted for the admission.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I think it's very important also when you are looking out for a program to apply for. I'm saying this for the benefit of those watching us online, that while it is stated on the website that, oh, there is funding available, it is also good when you are not clear about whether your program or your previous academic qualification can get you into that program. It's always good to reach out to the graduate school coordinator for the department or for the program of your interest to make inquiries, right? Just as you rightly said, to get more clarification on how, your previous academic experience suits the program that you want to apply for. And that gives the edge in terms of getting funding. All right. So thank you very much, Adamu, for that insight.
You're
Also,
welcome.
I want to kind of, the application package itself,
Yeah.
in terms of you saying you put in your application. A lot of people, most times don't know how to package the application to stand out.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing for you to have every document necessary. And also is another thing for you to put them together to suit your profile,
Yeah.
right? To make you stand out in among tons of other applicants,
Cool.
right? So what did you do? How did you package your application in terms of your degree certificate? Did you have a first class, you have a 2-1, all those stuff, do you have your GR, do you write any tests, maybe
Okay.
TOEFL, GRE, or do you
Okay.
have to get a professor, send code email, or do you have to, how did you go about putting your application together that you think make you to stand out in getting the funding?
Okay, thank you so much. I think the most important thing here to note is that I've met all the requirements. So in terms of my educational qualification, I got a 2-1, and the combination of everything makes my application to stand out because the application documents for my own program documents are quite different from other programs too. So I have to do a 3-minute video in French, speaking clearly without reading a manuscript, and also my statements of purpose, sample of write-up because I'm applying to a program which has to do with literature. So I have to show the proficiency in writing. I've submitted 7 to 10 pages of my work sample. Then my letter of recommendation from 3 different previous teachers of mine from University of Illinois. Then my curriculum vitae, which is CV. If any person is willing to apply for a program, let that person put in things which are relevant to his program. Let's say if you have volunteered before, it is really important for you to highlight it on your CV. For example, I happen to work with different organizations involving in promoting reading, writing, literacy, creative writing, and things like that. I was able to highlight those things on my CV, and things like my personal creative work, because literature allows me to also write, not just reading other people's work. So I have some of my books too. I was able to put the link to those books, like you can be able to click from my CV and get those books directly on Amazon. And if I have any award, I should also be able to put it. So I put all the things which are relevant to my program on my application document. To say it at a glance, I think these are the things I've been able to package, going by your words. So I was able to package my application to suit their need.
The need.
So,
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. You made a very important point there when you said you highlighted things that is relevant to your application.
yeah.
In most cases, people just just put in everything. Just put up things, whether it's relevant or not. They feel like, oh, the more I have there, let them take what they need and leave the rest, right? But being specific is also very important, right?
Yeah.
And you have a good profile when you said, you put in all your a 3-minute video. I think that is a requirement for the program you're applying
Yes,
for,
it's a requirement. Yeah.
specifically for that program.
Cool.
And also you put in the links to the book you've written, which shows your literary prowess and all that based
Yeah.
on the program you're applying for, which is also very important.
Yeah.
So and in terms of the links to your books, you put them in your SOP, right? Was
Yeah,
it
I put them on my SOP. Yeah. I also highlighted their titles on the CV too.
on the CV? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's very important. That's very important. Thank you very much. There's one thing that that usually a lot of applicants are always kind of, oh, I need someone to review my application before. I think that will give me a high edge of getting an offer. I need someone who has gotten there before to kind of guide me to how to go about it and how to to read through my essays to make sure they are intact, they are good and all that, which is very good, right?
Yeah.
Which is very good if you get someone who is willing to to put in the time to do that for you. And but in terms of you, when you applied, did you get someone to review your application before you submitted them, or you just feel like, oh, this is good enough, I've met the requirement, and you went ahead and put in your application?
Well, thank you so much. I would like to say it is important to reach out to someone you really trust, not your close friend, not your family member, somebody that can give you constructive criticism on your write-up. Don't just write your SOP and send it. What can work for me might not work for you, but for the benefit of every person, I believe it is important for the applicants to reach out to people. Those people could be their mentor, to kindly go through their SOPs and say what is to be removed or added. In my own case, I wrote my SOP and I did not pass it to anybody to help me review it. I submitted it the way it was written. So, yeah.
Okay, so basically, you encourage people to reach out, but you're also saying that indirectly that, well, one thing that is there is to believe in what you have written.
Yeah.
Right? Because the point is this, even though while it is good to reach out to someone to review your application in terms of the person does not know you. Because SOP is more like yourself.
Yeah.
You are telling a story about yourself, right? You are writing based on your experience and what you want for the future. A reviewer, if you have someone who is going to review it, is just going to review it based on either your construction, your arrangement, and then does it align, is it cohesive and all those stuff. And if it is someone particularly in that field you're applying to, they might give you some ideas on how to, things you should put into it to make it better based on their perspective. But the point there is, writing SOP is something you do based on your experience. You are not expected to put in things that doesn't speak of you, right? Because at the end of the day, you are the one that is going to defend what you have written, whether directly or indirectly.
Of course, yes.
And also, in putting in application, it's not just the SOP that matters, right? Yes. Every other thing, like your letter of recommendation, your
video,
every other thing must align.
Sure,
so
yes.
If someone else externally is giving you some ideas to put in your SOP, at the end of the day, it's left for you to review those ideas and see, does it align with my qualifications or with my experience or with my plans for the future, or does it align with what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
Because if your SOP is totally different from other application documents, if it doesn't cohesively align together with other application documents, it looks like you are writing something totally different, right? Yes. So while it is good, as you said, to get someone, if you can, to review it, to give you a constructive criticism, it is also good to believe that at the end of the day, it's your decision to pick those criticisms and either accept or reject them.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So, and also in terms of writing SOP, there is something a lot of people usually don't take serious, and that is grammatical errors.
Yeah.
You can get someone to give you constructive criticism, but it's also good to get someone to to read for grammatical error. You might read your SOP and feel like, oh, my English is perfect. There's no error, in it.
Yeah.
And someone that does not even like, maybe that is just a first year student in undergrad or something, might read it and start seeing some little errors that you might not even see, right? So it's also good to give it out to someone who can also read it for errors, and and see if you have some error that might make your application looks put off the reviewers. Like, when you are reading an essay and you find out that, oh, you start seeing errors, the thing is normal, the essay is normal, aligning together, it can put off the reviewers in your application. So that is also very important. Now let's talk about letter of recommendation.
Okay.
Letter of recommendation has become one of the aspect of application I would say some people ignore. Like, they didn't usually take it serious because they feel like, oh, anybody can write letter of recommendation for me, right? And in most cases, they don't know what the person is writing about them.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, it plays a very important role in the success of your application. Even if other things being perfect, your results, your SOP, every other thing. But one bad recommendation can mar every effort of yours, right? So when you decided to pick your recommenders, I think 3 recommenders basically, right?
Yes.
For the program you are doing now, how did you go about it? What makes you to go for those people that you picked?
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to go back to talk about SOP, but let me just answer your question first. Basically, while I was in school,
SOP is statement of purpose for people that are asking what is SOP.
There's something I would like to mention there, but it's fine. We are going to go back to that by God grace later. While I was in school before graduating, all my lecturers, I'm still having, good relationship with them. But before graduating, I've already identified people who really have interest in my growth. They really want to push me, you understand? So I spoke with them, telling them my plans after graduation. So I've already gotten their emails, their professional addresses beforehand. So anytime I don't need to call them because they know. I don't need to call them and remind them because I've already informed them. So they are very much willing to assist. I use 2 different lecturers from University of Ilorin and 1 lecturer who is an outsider. He is not a staff of University of Ilorin. Okay. So one of the lecturers supervised my project. So we have cordial relationship with him. And the other one is also someone that I look up to. She's like a mentor to me. She specializes in one of the areas of my interest. So you understand? So I got her contact too. She was very delighted anytime she heard me, reaching out to her regarding things like that. Then the 3rd person is a lecturer at the Nigerian French language village. For some of us that are familiar with Badagry, there is a Nigerian French language village established by the federal government. It is an inter-university center for French studies. So I have so many lecturers there too. So one of them is also a lecturer whose area of interest is French literature, especially the 19th century French poetry. So before graduating there, before leaving, because we have to visit Nigerian French language village compulsorily at the 3rd year of our studies. So every Nigerian who studies French should go to Badagry. But if you have the means of traveling to France or Senegal or anywhere where French speaking, you can go there. But we attended the program at the Nigerian French village in Badagry. I had his contact, so when I was applying for admission, I just put his name, his email, he got notification. He told me, Adamu, you were applying for this school. Yeah, but okay, no problem. And after writing the SOP, those professors, those lecturers made sure they reach out to me. Do I have to look at the SOP? I said, yeah, no problem. They allow me to look at the SOP before even sending it. So they asked me, did the SOP, or I'm sorry if I'm making some blunders.
Go ahead.
Does the SOP tally, or is it in line with what I'm looking for to submitting, or Does the SOP speak to my plan? I see, yeah, no problem. So if there's any adjustment, I will let them know. And they requested for my CV.
You
Three of
mean
them.
sorry to interrupt you. Do you mean does the letter of recommendation tarry? Like,
Tally, yeah. Is
yeah,
it in
because we are
line
saying
with
SOP. So I want you to correct that so people get
I'm
to
actually sorry. I'm trying to say letter of recommendation. I'm so sorry. I'm apologizing for my blunders. Actually, it's not
No,
easy.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Go on.
So those three lecturers asked me to look into those letters of recommendation and see if there is any need for them to put or remove one or two things. I said, okay, no problem. I've taken different looked at the write-up and I found out there's no need for them to add anything. But believe me, three of them requested for my CV because they want to know after graduating, I've involved in so many different activities. So they would like to highlight those things. And don't choose anybody as your recommenders. Some people you think they are really willing to see you grow are not. So I'm not trying to like be judgmental or anything, but be really think about the person you can choose as your recommender. It's really important because not every person can stand for you and write effectively about your growth and your potentials for students, because those universities are looking forward to seeing people who can support you, people who can see, yeah, you have the potentials to carry out research, you are a potential scholars in the field because you are coming with package of knowledge to contribute to the growth of your university. So if you are choosing people, please don't just choose anybody anyhow. Some people can make or mar you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Adamu. That is a very good insight there. To our viewers online, if you have any questions for my guest, Adamu, you can go on and put it on the comment box. I will bring it on as we proceed. All right. So quickly, I would like to highlight one thing here. When you started applying for scholarships, right? At the point where you started applying for scholarships, you will come along a lot of information. Probably social media was there, Twitter was there. You come along different informations, and your field, basically arts and science.
Yeah.
Most time people ask,
Art
is
and
there no,
humanities.
is there
Art and humanities.
art and humanities, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of time people say, oh, most scholarship or most funding opportunities are in the science related, STEM related programs and all that. There's no opportunity for people in the art and humanity, but that is totally wrong.
Wrong, yes.
Totally wrong.
Capital wrong.
That's totally wrong. So when you were applying for your program, did you write any test maybe in support for your application?
I did not write any test in support of my application. The only requirement I think I submitted my bachelor degree. I didn't ask for my certificate, just my transcript, that's all. And I used University of Ilorin issued us student copy. I used my student copy up till today. I didn't submit. I only went to University of Ilorin when I was about to come here to write to them, they should send my official email. I mean, my transcript. So I'm trying to say basically that there are so many opportunities and funding for people who are not from the STEM area. If you are from art and humanities or social sciences, believe me, there are so many fundings for you. And one thing I want you to realize is that if you really want to do graduate studies at the university in any university in America, believe me, you can be admitted. If you truly believe you can be admitted, they have fundings for you. And I want you to practice the arts of negotiation. You see all these big universities, they are willing to listen to you. They are willing to welcome you as their scholar. They have their email addresses, they have their phone numbers. The easiest way you can reach out to them is to write to them. They are willing to provide you with every information from beginning to the start of your program. So we have fundings for people who are passionate about things like languages, linguistics, history, diplomacy, name all these courses within the art and humanities. The only thing you need to know is to leverage information. People say information is key, but information is also power. If you are not informed, you will be misinformed. So I really advise people to connect with scholars. Like on Twitter, we have, if not thousands, hundreds of Nigerian scholars who are into all these fields. If you talk about engineering, we have scholars. If you talk about anything, any course you might think of, we have scholars in those areas already. So you can check their profile and reach out to them. They are very much willing, not all of them, most of them are willing to support you, and make sure you continue interacting with your potential department or faculty. They have information. They don't believe what people are saying. There is no funding for you. No, there are fundings. America has more than 150 universities, so you must have your place to study. Even if it's not America, you have places to go. You are a potential scholar, so believe me, believe in yourself, believe in your ability, believe in your dream. You can do it. And one thing is, I don't want to go into it because I know many of us struggle to get certificate and transcript. Many people in our, back home could not really pursue their ambitions because they could not get their certificate. And I think our universities have to work in a way to better these kind of issues, because many people, have to let go opportunities. So my program does not allow me or does not request me to submit uh, like GRA or TOEFL or anything, because I'm coming from a modern languages program. I have met their requirement in terms of my educational background at the BA level. They've seen my sample of write-up, and I interacted with them, through Zoom after submitting the video, and I think that's what made my application to stand out. I'm sorry if I'm making some blunders here and there. I'm talking not really in
No,
an
it's you
official
are
or
very
formal
clear.
way.
You are very
Yeah.
clear. Thank you very much, Adamu,
You're welcome.
for that. Okay, so you mentioned something very important, right? You have already debunked the what would I call it? The
The
myth.
myth.
Yeah, debunk the myth that it's only in science that there is funding. I recently come across someone who is studying who is doing a master's program in women's studies.
Yeah, my friend Joyce.
Here in university. So it will amaze you.
And I'm sorry, her major is English. She got a
Her
Bachelor of
major
Arts
is
in
English.
English. Yeah.
Yes. So it will amaze you how you can switch from one program to another. Here in the US, there are more than 4,000 public university higher institutions here.
Sure.
Compared to Canada, which have about 100. So
Yeah.
in terms of where the funding is, everybody know that US is like the headquarter, right?
Yeah.
It's the headquarter of funding opportunities because they have the numbers, right? The numbers is in their favor. So and it takes diligence for you to search, because a lot of people might share information probably on social media. The numbers might be in favor of, the number of scholars might be in favor of those in science and arts, science, engineering, STEM
Engineering,
related.
yeah.
So most often you see them emphasizing more in those areas. Doesn't mean that there's no opportunity in arts or non-STEM programs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people here are doing business programs, communication programs. Even recently, I think in French, we have in classical studies, we have about 10 scholars that started their program this fall.
Yeah.
About 10 scholars. So
yes,
that tells you a lot that there's funding also there. You understand? So,
yeah.
And before we take a few questions, you made a very important point about negotiation. And I could remember you telling me one time that you got a raise in your assistantship when to meet up your deficit. And that was due to negotiation power that you applied.
Yeah.
So I would like you to kind of, shed light on how you go about that. How did you pull that string?
Well, thank you so much, Sunday. I was trying to get my service fee and I-20, but because I could not afford to meet the expectation of the school in terms of funding, I have to show proof of $48,000, but the funding I got from my department is lesser than that, 46,000. So I have to get 2,000 plus, which is equivalent to 1 million plus naira back
Yeah.
home. So I was somehow perplexed, and I nearly gave up because I thought I could not make it at all. So because I've been interacting with my chair of the department, I told her basically that I'm coming as a scholar and I have potentials for research and contribute to my growth I'm going to contribute to the growth of the department and the university at the greater level. So I told her I can only come if she could add something, some things or something on my initial funding. Otherwise, I might not be able to come. She said, okay, can't I even show my personal statements of account or probably from family members? I told her I have no alternative at all. But if truly she can be able to consider my request, I will be extremely and infinitely grateful for her support. I didn't beg her. I'm just trying to give you the kind of
Yeah,
I
I get
have,
that
if you
point.
like, I can show you the screenshots of the mail.
That's
If you
strategy.
like, I can show you. But at the end of the day, to my greatest surprise, she messaged me back. She said, dear Adamu, my department is happy to add 2,000 US dollars on your initial funding and you will become of research assistant. So, and some other things. And she also told me I shouldn't worry, I have some internal scholarship within the department. So as soon as I arrive here, so basically that's what I did, and it's worked effectively. Many people are afraid of taking risk. They believe, no, because I've been admitted, if I discuss, if I say no, they will reject me. No, they have the money, but they would like to see people who have this kind of potentials and zeal and
Potentials.
passion, taking risks. People are innovative. I'm not trying to say I'm better than others, but try it. Sometimes there is a voice talking to you from the depth of your heart. Listen to that voice, take action. That day I said, God, I have no money. And I don't want to just stress anybody because people are passing through a lot. I
Yeah,
can't just say people are also having their children to take care of.
exactly.
So I said, let me just talk to her. She's human like me. I said, the mail is on my laptop here. I can show you if you care to see it. So she at the end of the day, she said she messaged the graduate administrative coordinator of our department as well as the coordinator of service whose office is in International Center. They asked me to submit my passport. That's all they need to see because they've already added the funding later on my portal. So I just have to submit my biodata of passport for the I-20 to be issued. And believe me, that's what I took. I went to the embassy. People were saying, no, they didn't ask me for any proof of funding. They asked me like 3 questions all alone. That's all. Where am I going to? Do I have any thesis? Have I been to the US? That's all. And congratulations, blah, 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 all this. So that's how I left. But I'm advising
Exactly.
people to never relent at all. Go for it. It's yours. Try, use strategies. If you believe you can do it, believe me, tell them what I'm trying to let you know basically here is let them know you have what it takes. You have something innovative. You are bringing something. You're not just coming as a liability. You are an asset. Let them know you have this wealth of knowledge to share. You know, at the graduate school, they see you as a scholar who can contribute to the growth of the university to make the university rank higher, not just
Exactly.
locally, but internationally. Because
Mm-hmm.
through you, for example, you can attend international conferences and it's going to be a thing of joy to your department and your school might be delighted. Believe me, before you know it now, you can write your name in the Hall of Fame. So I advise people strongly to reach out to their graduate coordinator, their head of department. Those people, they are professors, but believe me, their mentality, the way they approach you, you will like it. So make sure you talk to them. If you have problem, don't feel shy. Let them know where you need help. They will be very much willing to assist you. They have resources. They have believe me, I can't name those resources, but Sunday is a testimony to know, to share some light. Yeah? I'm so sorry if I'm being somehow,
You are good. You are good.
yeah.
You are saying a lot
I'm
of.
just trying to motivate brothers and sisters, back home to leverage on that too.
Thank you very much, Adamu.
Yeah.
You have already kind of said everything that I need to say and even extra. Okay, so I you have shared a lot of insights there. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I would like to us to take a couple of questions. We already have 12 minutes to 1 hour. I don't want to keep you more than 1 hour. Today is road tide,
Roll
right?
Tide.
Road tide. So I'm also going to watch the match
I've not
live.
gotten my ticket. Let me quickly get my ticket, but I'm going to do that soon after the program. Yeah.
Okay, so before that, let's quickly take a few questions here from.
I really advise our viewers to ask questions. I really want to answer their questions to the best of my capability.
Yes, yes.
Please
So
ask your questions, please.
we have a couple of questions
And
here.
especially people in my feed, like people from Arts and Humanities. Ask me questions, please. If you are going for international relations, diplomacy, journalism, because I have admission for those courses like journalism, international relations, diplomacy, languages. So you can ask me questions. We are here to assist you in our humble way. Please don't feel shy. Don't feel afraid. We are here for you, please.
And if you are getting value from this video, the best thing you can do right now is, if you have not subscribed to the channel, just subscribe and like the video. Okay, so and for those that will be watching after this session, I know a lot of people are not able to join now. For those that will be watching later, you can also ask your questions. Adamu will answer them even after this.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see couple of questions here.
Really?
Let's see. I have a question. Okay, this one is saying, is it cool to write the recommendation letter for the lecturer you recommend? Of course, no. You have to. They are the ones to write the recommendation letter, but in most cases, they might ask you to provide some information to help them to
Like
write.
that CV.
Exactly, like your CV, maybe your SOP. So, but basically, if your recommender is saying you go and write it, just give me, I will post, that means they don't really have your interest at heart in terms of because one thing you need to know is recommendation is not just something that can be written anyhow. It have to come from a place of them having you in their heart, that they want the best for you, right? There are some information that you can't provide yourself. Even if you give them a template or written out document, they will still be the one to fine tune it, to make it looks to suit their own tone of communication, and that's what makes it unique. All right, so it's always good for your recommendation to create that time to help you to write a good recommendation. And you should start on time. That makes sense. Start on time. Let them know on time. Don't just approach them at 9 minutes. Maybe a week to your deadline. Just that you want to reach out to your recommenders first time. You have not been in touch for a while. You just jump up one day and you feel like, oh, let me call this person, let him write recommendation for me. They might be busy. They might have a lot of other people who need their time. So you need to make sure you're always
Considerate.
Considerate of that also. Okay, now someone here says, though Adamu has explained how he got the admission via his bachelor degree straight to PhD, is it possible in the field of science, say physics from first degree to PhD? If it's possible in art and humanities,
it really is.
then it is also the same thing for any other program. So I have, sorry, you want to say something?
I just want to say, any person applying should really invest more time in reading every information on the website of his program. Those programs provide you with information. So if it's possible for one to secure an admission to the PhD from a Bachelor of Arts, I think it's quite possible for any person coming from the field of sciences too. But
exactly,
every school has its own requirements, which are really different. So you have to go through those information and prepare your application accordingly.
Exactly. So I have made a video on that. If you can, I did a video on how to get from bachelor's to PhD straight, the process, how to search for the school, the program, and check if they accept bachelor's for a PhD. So most schools accept. What they need is your bachelor's, first degree to get into PhD program. And in most cases, you will get your master's along the line. So it works. It works. So check out the requirement for the program and you will find out if that is possible for that specific program. Okay, so there's another question. So this one is asking regarding letter of recommendation. In a case whereby the lecturer did not tell the applicant to preview the letter of recommendation before submitting, what can I do? You know, Adamu case is special case, okay?
In most cases, can I answer the question?
Yeah, go on.
In most cases, they won't ask you. It depends on the kind of cordial relationship you have before they can allow you to see the letter. You understand? Not all people can send the letters to you before sending it to the school. So in the case of a lecturer sending the letter directly to the school, you might just, I think you should, you can't just tell him to withdraw the letter, right?
Yeah.
I believe the person must have written something which speaks to your program. So I don't know if Sunday can.
So in terms of, thank you, Adamu, for that. When it comes to letter of recommendation, it is, in most cases, some schools make it confidential that the lecturer should send it directly to them. And also, in most schools in the US, when you are applying and you put in the details of your prospective or recommenders, they will ask you, do you want to waive your right to view?
Yes.
So when they say you want to waive your right to view, what that means is that you don't want to see the letter even after they have submitted it. That you said no. If you say yes, you want to waive your right, then they will submit the letter, you won't be able to see it. And if you say no, you don't want, you want to see it, that doesn't also make any difference because once it is submitted, it can be withdrawn. It's just like you are seeing what they have submitted. So it all boils down to the fact that pick someone that you trust that will write a good recommendation for you.
Yes. And I want to share something to our viewers. I have a friend, I don't want to disclose his name or information, but I just want to let you know that one of his lecturers, the person that supervised his project, something, I don't want to say bad, but something that is not really welcomed from such kind of academic. And the university here in the US reached out to that, my friend, to tell him what happened, why this person wrote this kind of letter of recommendation on your behalf. Like the letter was not really what was expected. You understand? So you have to be very careful. You have to like take it very seriously. And then on the issue of SOP, I want people to really invest more time. SOP, Nakoko, people should invest more time on writing SOP. It's fine to read people's SOP. It's fine to browse, but don't copy. Please, it's your personal work. You don't have to speak big grammar or go and talk like Professor Ulisu Inka. No, say your mind. Clearly, you can't impress them. You would like to see the potentials. How does the program tally with your career goal? Why do you think you are a potential scholar? Why do you think you can be admitted to the program and things like that? So think about that critically. It takes time, but I know it always seems impossible until it's done. Don't copy, don't download and edit, write your own. If you need help, you can consult scholars in your line. They can, assist you. So I wish every person, all the very best wishes in their respective endeavors, and we can't wait to hear their stories too.
Thank you very much. That is very, very important. Don't copy. You can use others SOP as templates, but don't copy, because at the end of the day, these people have a way of spotting copied SOP. You can't beat the system. So why should you jeopardize your effort by copying other people's work? That means you are coming into an academic system that doesn't tolerate plagiarism, and you are not yet in, you have already started plagiarizing. So that is a way of trashing your application at first sight. So yeah, thank you very much, Adamu. Okay, talking of the switch in program, how can someone that did French studies choose another program, and how can you build such documents?
Thank you. Thank you. I told you people some times ago, I got admitted into 2 different UK universities for me to do my Masters of Science in Diplomacy and International Relations. University of Strathclyde in Glasgow, Scotland. I didn't study diplomacy from University of Illinois where I graduated. I didn't have any background at all, but I'm passionate. My SOP speaks about my potentials and my career goal and how does the course really help me to grow. So if you think, some of my passions include journalism. So journalism, international relations. So if you think you have those things, by volunteering, for example, I was applying for a program in journalism. I have worked as a volunteer for some media houses where I write articles. I can provide them with the link of those articles. If I have my podcast, ordinary postcard that I did on anchor.fm, I share those links. People can hear my voice. If you understand, if they are in doubt or ascertain to my eligibility. Let's say you are me coming from a French, degree. I submitted my application and I let them know I have the background knowledge of international relations and these courses in diplomatic sector. I'm a polyglot. I speak 7 languages, so it's an asset already. So build that confidence of learning on your own. Not everything you can learn in the university. Try to learn on your own. Try to use available resources online. If you have to go to library within your community, it's fine. Volunteering is key. Before coming, I was a manager in Ilorin for a program known as Imadui Writers Enclave. Already is in line with my program, literature writing. So then things like that. I have a bachelor degree of University of Ilorin in French. That does not mean I can just study French all my life. If I'm passionate about anything, I can go for it, provided it is within art and humanities. I know you understand what I'm trying to say, because when you look at diplomacy, it's not really a core science course, it's within art and humanity. When you look at journalism, is more or less like within art and humanities. When you look at things like political science, is always something related to, because they need people who can also interpret global discourses in politics too. So if I let them know I have the background knowledge, probably through my write-up, through my involvement in activities, maybe I volunteer with some organization in line with my program, and try your best and tally everything you do with SDGs. We have 17 of them. Mine is quality education, which is SDG 4. So I don't know if you are coming for sustainable development, like clean city and community, maybe your course is agriculture or environmental study. Try and have volunteering experience in those fields and add them to your CV. You are going to stand out. I don't know if I've been able to answer the question.
You've answered it more than enough.
Thank
So
you. Thank you.
there's nothing more to add to that. So someone, I think I will take a few minutes
No
past 1 hour
No
to
problem.
attend
Thank
to
you.
questions we have here.
Okay.
Someone is asking, what do I do if a professor whose research interest aligns with mine doesn't reply my mail about showing my interest in the department?
Is it
So
the school you're applying for?
yeah, so it's like he sent a cold email to a professor and he didn't get a response. So he's
Well,
asking what should he do? I'll
well,
allow you to answer that. I have the answer off my hand.
I don't have the answer, but I know you have the effective. I'm just trying to give her the pet or he or she want something to do. It's important to read requirement. In every school, they have an appointment coordinator for a particular discipline. My program is modern languages and classics, but in French, we have 2 different branches. We have applied linguistics in French, we have literature in French. So people of my caliber who are applying for literature are always reaching out to just one person whose research interest tallies with our potential, research goals. So we reached out to her. She was very happy to assist us. If you reach out to the person and the person does not reply you, I think you can reach out to the chair of the department, not to blame the person, but to source for information. The chair of the department can copy that person in the mail and say, okay, this person is, I don't know if it makes sense. That's what I observe most of them do here in the USA. Probably those professors are busy. That does not mean they don't want to reply you. They have lots of work. Some of them are on research, so they might not have time to receive and reply all the mails they have. They have thousands of mail every day. Remember, you are not alone. So I'm sorry, don't take that as something that can stop you from going to your dream school. You can always push forward. I believe the best thing is to reach out to the Apex office. If you are able to find the email address of the coordinator of the program, fine. If you cannot be able to find it, you can find the email address of the chair or the head of the department or the head of faculty. If you are a graduate student, I believe they have so many resources for you on those university websites. Just look for them, read them before you can go to an outsider. Please focus on that university. They have like information is key. Read those information. I know it's hard for us, to the read like, but let's try and read those information. Is for our good. Once you are able to digest those information, believe me, you don't need to crack your brain anymore. Sunday, I give you
I
time.
think,
I
I
give you
think,
your time to answer the
no,
question.
no,
I'm so
no.
sorry.
You've,
Yeah.
you've, no, no, don't have to be sorry, Adamu. You have already you took the answer I wanted to give, you modified it, and you elaborated on it. So I don't have to say anything on that again. So that settles it. Someone is asking, do you think it's okay to use one recommendation for multiple scholarships?
No.
Let me take this one. Okay.
Okay, take
So
it.
if when you say one recommendation for multiple scholarship, I assume that you got one letter of recommendation and the address was to whom it may concern. So that means it's a generic one. And then if you're applying to school in US, they require you that you just provide the details of your recommender, which you are not going to submit just one recommendation. They have to submit it themselves. So in that case, using one recommendation doesn't work. And in a case where you have to submit the recommendation yourself, it is usually good to always put in the address of the school directly. Don't make it general. Don't say to whom it may concern, this and that. It shows that you are not, doing the right thing. So always be specific to the school you are writing to. That makes it looks better. Do I need to contact the graduate coordinator or professor before I start my application? So this one I will take, okay? Adamu have said a lot about contacting graduate coordinator and all that. And in that case, it's just for you to make inquiries. If you are not clear about something you have read on the website, you don't know much about the funding process and all that thing, and maybe you want to know how does your qualification align with their program, you can always reach out to the right contact, probably, potentially, or in most cases, the graduate coordinator. But if it is as a requirement before you start your application, I would say no, right? A lot of people just read what is on the website and they see that, oh, they are offering funding for this program and they meet the requirement and they go ahead and submit the application. So in US, you get an offer based on merits, not based on the person you know. Then when it comes to also contacting professors, that's also a way of, getting a heads up before you even submit your application. If you get a positive response, the professor is ready to take you in and all that. So you know that, oh, you submitting your application is a formality. You already have, you are sure that the funding is already guaranteed, right? And that is mostly research assistantship. But when it comes to teaching assistantship, you don't even need to contact anybody. Submit your application, meet the requirement, they will review all applications and select those ones they want to give funding. So it's not usually a requirement. So that's what I would say. So this person said he want to know your CGPA. He says he knows it's 2.1, but he want to know the real number.
Thank you.
Do you want to just take that? Take that question, challenge or something? Or what would I call it? You want to disclose that?
2.1, so the person should know is 2.1.
So 2.1. Yeah. So Adamu says it's 2.1. That means
something close to 4.5. Close to 4.5. Yeah.
Close to 4.5. Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing there is this. People are usually put a lot of attention in results. Yeah. And here in the US, mostly the requirement is for you to have 3.0 out of 4.0.
Yeah.
Right. And that is equivalent to 2.1 if you are looking at it in a scale of 5.0 or any scale you are looking at it on, it's just 2.1. Right. Yep. So once you have a 2.1, you have met that requirement. And if you don't have a 2.1, you have a 2.2, you can do a waste evaluation. In most cases, I've seen people that do waste evaluation and it boosts their CGPA, because waste in most cases considers your last 2 semesters or thereabouts in their review or something. So you can do waste evaluation, and even on that, I've seen people that have 2.2 that still got funding. This thing is not cast in stone. It depends on how you approach it. Okay, there's always possibilities. Anything is possible if you believe. Okay. Can your research topic be tied to your native country, or it has to be tied to the country of the university? So here, when it comes to this one, I would say that in the US, most cases, you don't have to write a research topic or research proposal to apply. You get here, then you will decide on what you want to work on based on your advisor's interest or something like that. Or when you start to take some courses, get experience, get exposure to different areas, you then decide on what you want to work on. It can tie back to your home country to solve a problem in your home country. It can be a problem in a country where you are studying. So that shouldn't be a major issue. So except if you reach out to a professor and they're asking you to submit a research proposal or something specifically for that, then you will know what to do in that instance. But there's no specific or one directional way to that. Finally, Adamu, I think this is the last question, and I would like you to take that. This one is asking, speaking about volunteering, what is the minimum amount of months to volunteer?
I'm so sorry, but even if you volunteer for 1 day and you're able to defend it and put it on your CV, believe me, you can stand out. I have some volunteering experience that do not even last for long, like 3 days, 1 day. I put them on my CV and they stood up for me. So there's we don't have, I can say there's no particular requirement for volunteering. So far, it is in line with your area of interest and it can tally with your program. If it is relevant, that's fine. I think it's okay to put it, but not everything you can put. Just make sure you scrutinize and pick those that are very specific with your program. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that's answered it. Volunteering doesn't have to be something you do for months. It can be an event, maybe Earth Day. You volunteer to sensitize people about the importance of Save the Earth, or maybe on gender equality, something that's, that is special that you just volunteer to do. You don't have to be a long time. So just highlight it.
Give that person a very short and funny example of my volunteering with one organization in Ilorin.
Okay.
I volunteered with an association known as Kwara Development Trackers. What I did was I volunteered as an usher for just a 2 hours event. As an usher, what I was given was just their t-shirt to wear and stand by the door and receive people. That's all. I was applying for Yali. I was a core member at the Federal Polytechnic at Ekiti. I happened to be among the few people shortlisted for the called 15 online training by the Young African Leaders Initiative in Accra, Ghana, Yali. And the admission process, selection process was very tough. That's the only volunteering experience I had then, just for a day, and I was shortlisted. They asked me questions based on that. I provided with the answer. So I think anything you think can make you to like win a particular scholarship or get admitted, and if it is relevant to that program, believe me, add it and pray. I know we are prayerful, so we are prayerful, we can always pray. So prayer and then your commitment to never give up, because I believe it always seems impossible until it is done. Believe me, you have the potentials, you have what it takes to, you have gone to undergraduate program already. The time is now for you to explore, and believe me, your time has come, so claim it.
Yes. And with that, I want to everyone who is still on the call to give a round of applause for our speaker. He has already, like, I didn't see this coming.
I'm so sorry, Sunday.
I know Adamu is a good orator, but
I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry. I was not really prepared to I know my performance or my presentation was really bad. I rate myself 1/10 because it was not what I really expected to say or really give. And I made so many blunders in terms of speaking. I made so many, so I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to entice our participants and also motivate them. So I believe my information and my message has been passed and well received.
Thank you very much. Like, you rate yourself 1/10. That is, you are trying to be humble.
But no, I'm not. I know I did bad.
It's okay. Let our viewers rate you. Okay. Thank you very much, Adamu. So everyone, please, can we appreciate our guest speaker today? He has already shared a lot of insight. If you are still here, just put it in the comment section. Appreciation. Thank you. Just a round of applause. Use whatever means you want to use to appreciate our speaker for today. He has said a lot of information. He has shared a lot of information, and he said something very important, which is very key. It looks impossible until it is done. Okay, so we are here today. It was once like impossible, right? But today it is a reality. So whatever you want to do, put in your mind, put in the effort, go out with your full strength, and before you know it, become a success story. All right. So
I'm sorry, I want to say something, Sunday.
Yes.
For people who are particularly interested in applying for admission, especially to like in the area of arts and humanities, such as language, linguistics, literature, journalism, diplomacy, you can, if you think you can submit your letter for me to probably look at it, I'm always open for that. So that's my humble contribution to the growth of our brothers and sisters back home. So Sunday might communicate my email address or how to reach out to you anytime soon.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Adamu. That is a very huge giveaway there. All right. So I will put in the contacts, how you can reach me. Just if you are in the field, he just specify now. You just send me an email and with your documents. So that's my email address. Send me an email on that address. If you want Adamu to help you review your SOP and your CV, right? Is CV included?
I'm actually interested in looking at their SOP. But CV,
okay.
If they are willing to share their CV, fine, no problem. But
okay, so please make sure you are interested in arts and humanity.
Social
So,
sciences, arts and
social
humanities. Yeah.
sciences, art and humanity. All right. So
I'm not touching sciences. It's not my field.
we don't want Adamu to go to science. We want him to he has already debunked. That means that there is no opportunity in non-STEM. So here he's offering that opportunity for people that are applying to non-STEM programs, social science, arts and humanity, to send in their CV, their SOP specifically. But if you want to also him to look for into your CV, just send me an email and I'll forward it to him, and to help you to review it. And also, thank you, Adamu, for that. And also,
My pleasure, Oga.
the University of Alabama is having a free application week coming up next month in the month of October, either in the first week or second week. So in that week, you can submit your application without paying any application fee. So that is a big relief if you are going to apply to University of Alabama, because application fee can be an obstacle to a lot of people,
Honestly.
given the fact that if you are coming from Nigeria right now, the exchange rate is very high, right? So if you want to pay application fee of $100, that is about almost getting to 60,000 naira right now, so that might be a lot. But University of Alabama is offering a free application week coming up next month, so you can save yourself $80 if you prepare your application and submit it during that week. All right, so look
And I have a takeaway again for them.
Okay.
After University of Alabama again, I got to know through LinkedIn, Kent State University in Ohio is also waiving the application fee from October 22nd to November 1st. So people can also
Which
think about
university is
applying to
that?
that. Kent State University in Ohio.
Kent State.
Yeah, Kent. Yeah.
Kent State University.
Yeah.
Okay.
K-E-N-T, Kent.
K-E-N-T State
Yeah.
University.
Yeah. It's in Ohio.
Ohio, okay.
Yeah.
So that's another big takeaway there.
So people should please use those schools, and we have so many other schools coming up too. So
okay, Kent State
are very
University.
important. Please take them seriously and use them for the betterment of your growth, and share them with your friends and family members. Please, we really need to see you guys around, and you have potentials, you have what it takes to. So go after it, work for it, and claim it.
Exactly. Go after it, work for it, and claim it. You have what it takes, okay? You are the best of your kind. That is a big takeaway there. So thank you very much once again, Adamu. And I said last 2 weeks where I talked about helping 10 applicants with application fee support in the month of October and November. So my birthday is coming in November. But before that, I will, maybe it will come up before that. So I want to wait for the application free week for the University of Alabama to go by. So if you're applying for University of Alabama, that financial support might not come to you because you already have a free week. So make sure you submit your application during that week. All right, so this is a giveaway. I'm still going to talk more about it, but for those of you who are here now, all right, so if you have reached out to a school or a professor and you got a green light to go ahead and submit your application, and then maybe the application fee is what is standing in between, and you need a support. So those are the kind of people that should be, that I'm looking out to support with that. All right. So I will give more information on that once the application free week of University of Alabama is over. And that information will be here on the YouTube. So all my subscribers who are, I know those ones who are always sharing the information here, always consistent with, taking in the information that we are sharing here, using it. So you will be the first to know about that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. So when I drop up details on how to apply for that application fee support, you'll be the first to get it. All right. So with that, we come to the end of it. It's time to go and roll tide, okay?
I want to say to our listeners, merci beaucoup, dankeschön, shukran jazilan, dalu, eshe mundupe kupo, nagode, singila miyeti, gracias.
That settles it. So it has already said thank you in 7 languages, okay? I can only afford to do that in 3 languages or 4, so I'm still a polyglot.
And regarding
right?
your birthday, you know I'm your friend next door. So where are you taking us to?
Don't worry, we'll discuss that off camera.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.